WNOV 860 AM 106.5 FM. You're listening to Say Something Real this morning. Let me say good morning. What's up? God is good all the time. Cross wearing, I love Jesus hat covered in the blood.
Well, Lord, I don't know what I do. I have not forgiven you all for that. That song has a totally different interpretation for me now. Think of that suit.
I'm just saying.
When I'm going to be able to wear it and not go, Lord, I don't know. Don't know. Lord, I don't know.
I mean, you just gave Jesus stuff this morning, so I just wanted to make sure
really, Michelle,
we acknowledge that you was covered. Michelle. All your enemies is getting pushed back this morning.
You would think that after you told me your son had reached out and told you that, you know what I'm saying.
Look, people going between covered in the blood and Ike Turner.
Boy, it's rough. It ain't easy being me. That's all I can tell you.
I'm just saying. When Keith came in one day, Keith said when something was happening, your cross was underneath your t-shirt, and then it got a little rough.
Talking about marriage.
You pull your cross out.
Wow, this dude. So now he's in on it.
I'm just saying, Keith that pointed that out.
Right. Well, I'm good.
And I was like, you know what, Keith? He sure did. You're absolutely correct. That
you
did
didn't have to agree.
How you doing this morning, bro? You good?
I'm good.
That's good. That's good. That's it. That's all you got.
That's all I got.
Okay. Well, that's
covered in the blood.
That's new. Basquiat, how you doing this morning?
It's not new, by the way.
It's new. You good? Got your hair out this morning. What's going on? You got somewhere to be after this show?
No, I think I might
because Carvey's hair is always covered in the morning. His hoodie is his version of his bonnet. It's always covered in the morning, and then in the afternoon, his hair is all free flowing and just dripping on his shoulders. So today I came in, he got it out, but he got it pulled up to the side. Little slick little do I've never seen him wear before. So I just love the versatility that you brothers bring.
I wonder
to the show.
Does he put the camera on himself?
He does it. Have you not watched the shows? He does it.
I don't typically go back, but is there a reason
he never does.
You feature us, but when you're the subject, you don't show the listeners what she's speaking to?
Yeah. No, he never does. Never.
Well, that's something you need to fix, man, because
because I already had to get at him about some camera angles before.
Yeah, like the back of your neck. About.
Yeah, with that all that fat on the back of my neck. Then he let the camera sit there for like 25 minutes.
What you mean had all the fat on?
Because it looked like the way I was holding my neck, it looked like that.
Oh,
but when I held my neck straight,
he said 25 minutes.
Yeah, well, either way. The camera was resting there way too long.
I think what they were attempting to do was just give a different angle.
You know what? Don't start. Because it's quiet for you right now.
Yes, ma'am. I'm going right now.
See, that's why I tell people don't feel sorry for this Negro. Because he be the first one throw a blow. First one throwing bows. And then will sit up and look pitiful. I haven't recovered. All right, family. Let me get into the show this morning. A couple of things right off the top. First of all, a situation that we were alerted to a while ago. I got to go back and see how long it's been. I know over a month. Has now made its way into the front page of the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. So, excuse me, I'm choking in here. So we had a listener reach out to us to let us know that cars were being towed in parking lots around the city, and that some of these tows seem to be problematic. I actually went to the tow company to see what was going on, and they had taken a car that belonged to an individual who had a handicap parking placard, and they were parked in a handicap parking space, and their car got towed while they were in a store over on East Capitol in that little strip mall where Ross and Office Depot and Rainbow or whatever the stores is, Dollar Tree is over there, that parking lot. And so the listener, she called and she said, these people have towed my car. And, I didn't do anything wrong. So when I get over there to meet her over there, I talked to a brother who comes out who only talked to us through the gate, so you got to be buzzed onto the property and it's a whole thing. So he would only talk to us through the gate. So he comes out and I said, what's going on with this particular car? And he says, well, I got pictures of what they did that got the car towed. So I was like, let me see the pictures. So he shows the pictures and they show that the person had parked their car in a way that, oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, I see. We'll talk about that. That's not the cigarette girl though, is it? That's a different, okay. All right. So yeah, we paying attention to some human trafficking type drama that's going on over here by the radio station. Um, I'll get at that. But so in any case, he says that if you look at the photo, you can see that one of her tires. So when you think about a handicap parking spaces, especially if it's a couple, two or three next to one another, in between those spaces, there will be that space with the yellow striped lines on an angle, a diagonal, if you will. That they'll say like this is van accessible. So you understand that space in between those two parking spaces is so people who have a disability can maneuver. So if you got a wheelchair, you got to get out. If you just need more, room to move your walker or whatever you got to have, is space provided between the handicap parking spaces. That's usually divided up by the yellow diagonal lines in between. So her tire was a little bit over on the diagonal line. He told her car for that.
I remember you talking about this.
They have a arrangement with the whoever owns these lots, and he told her car for that. By the time it was all said and done, it was going to take like $450 to get her car back. It was towed over to 26 in Silver Spring. That's where I was talking to this brother. And, but then, they did some nonsense like, well, if you're a senior citizen, they could get it down to like $350 or some mess like that. So ultimately I paid to get her car out of the tow lot because this is a person on a fixed income. They don't have $300, $400 to give somebody because their tire, not the full car, not, you taking up the whole space, but your tire had crossed the line on this parking area. So today, when I go through the Journal Sentinel this morning, just, trying to keep up and see what went on while I was sleeping last night, I see that my man, Monty Maber, is featured on the front page of the Journal Sentinel. And I'm like, what's going on with Monty? Because I see him ASAP. And the story, which has the title, Tow Companies Accused of Taking Cars Illegally and Overcharging Outside Shopping Center and a Church. So the article goes like this. For the past 6 months, Monty Mabra has noticed the same black tow truck circling a shopping center on Milwaukee's northwest side. Quote, every time I go, a customer is running out of the store saying, don't take my car, don't take my car, he said. The truck only has a 1-800 phone number displayed on its side. It frequently tows cars that Mabra says are parked illegally outside Hampton Shopping Center over at 4801 North 76th Street. Mabry started stepping in and filming the tow truck encounters this month. So far, he has stopped at least 3 cars from being towed. The owners of the companies operating in the parking lot, DT2 Towing LLC and Kings in Trucking Express LLC, and that's who I dealt with, the Kings in Trucking LLC, denied that their drivers tow cars illegally. And these is shops owned by brothers. Okay. They were aware of Mabry's videos on social media, but said they do not portray what's really going on. They also criticized the videos, alleging they've wrongfully given the companies a bad rap, leading to an increase in break-ins at the company's lot. We don't touch any vehicle that wasn't either in the handicap spot, fire lane, or things of that nature, said David McElrath, Kings and Trucking owner, in an interview. But public investigator found problems with how the companies are operating. Kings and Truckings isn't licensed with the city of Milwaukee to tow cars from private property. Did you hear what I just said? Kings in Trucking isn't licensed with the city of Milwaukee to tow cars from private property, and its LLC registration has lapsed, according to the city and state records. Because of that, the towing companies are not legally permitted to work together, city officials said. In addition, city regulations stipulate that cars can only be towed at the request of the property owner. However, DT2 Towing owner Don Thurman told public investigator they do not tow at the owner's request, but instead patrol the lots 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The city's licensed division manager, Jim Cooney, said Wednesday the 2 companies have been referred to the Milwaukee Police Department's License Investigation Unit after public investigator began asking questions. Any reports or citations, plus any complaints from the public, will be made part of the license file and could be grounds for discipline at the time of license renewal, Cooney said. So, I will be reaching out to them to provide this information. When cars are towed from the Hampton Shopping Center, they're taken to DT2 towing location located at 2620 West Silver Spring Drive. Again, that's where I went. However, the 1-800 number on tow trucks leads to Kings in Trucking Express. So they taking your car one place, but you call in another place about your car being towed. Thurman, DT2's owner, said the number is for both businesses. It can reach his personal phone, the owner of Kings and Trucking's personal phone, and the lot's phone when it's open for business, he said. City regulations require towing businesses that take cars without prior consent of the owner or operator of the vehicle to obtain a city license. In an earlier interview, Coney, the licensed division manager, said Kings and Trucking Express holds a license that only allows for non-consensual towing in the case of bank repossession or from the public right-of-way to the city tow lot, not from a store's parking lot. I'm going to need my money. Thurman told public investigator he holds a license needed to tow cars while he contracts Kings in Trucking to aid in towing cars. Cooney confirmed DT2 has the license needed, but he said the way the 2 companies are working together is not legal. Kings and Trucking owner McElrath told public investigators he's properly licensed to take cars. He, quote, just can't store them. However, Cooney said businesses engaged in non-consensual towing from private properties must hold their own license and have their own premises in the city. Kings and Trucking also isn't properly registered as an LLC. So here these Negroes are out here taking other people's property. You doing it illegally. You're not even properly registered yourself as a company. Okay, so you see the blood rising, right? State records show the company was registered in 2019, but was administratively dissolved in June. An administratively dissolved company can later seek reinstatement if it corrects any deficiencies and pays off fees and penalties. That meant that the state dissolved their LLC because of either failed, filings, paperwork, whatever. After public investigators spoke with the property's owner, John Lewenauer, about their discrepancies, he called back, this time with Thurman and McElrath. During the call on Tuesday, McElrath said he thought he was in he thought he was in compliance with city regulations and that his company has done everything, quote, by the book. The owners of the two companies pledged to make changes. The property owner had thought he only worked with Kings in trucking, but realized how the two companies work together after speaking with public investigator. So this person who owns the property is thinking, I'm doing business with Debo. He don't know he doing business with Debo and Michelle. In a call on Wednesday, he told public investigator he would only work with DT2 Towing moving forward. Shopper said she had to pay $430 to get her car back. After Unique Johnson took her baby into a Save-A-Lot on August 7th, she realized she had forgotten something in her white truck. When she returned to the parking lot, her truck was gone. I thought I was getting pranked, she said. Her truck had only been there for about 5 minutes. She had parked correctly, she said. One of the towing companies later told her she parked too close to accessible or handicapped parking, which Johnson denied. What the hell you mean I parked too close? Was I illegally over the line in their space or not? So y'all sitting up making determinations that somebody parked too close. Johnson, and think about it, you sitting waiting, praying on people like some damn hustlers. Because the lady said, I got out the truck. I went in the store, realized I forgot something, turned around and came right back. So within 5, 6, 7 minutes, y'all done put this woman's car on a thing towing it. Johnson went back inside the store where employees advised her to call the number on a small sign in the parking lot. This is the 1-800 number, the number for Kings and Trucking Express. As she waited for someone to pick up her and her daughter, Johnson panicked and cried as she wondered how she would get her truck back. She was forced to pay nearly $430 to get her car back that same day. That same day. Johnson also accused the towing company of theft. She said $2,000 was missing from her truck when she picked it up. She showed public investigator a photo of broken cash bands in the truck, but said she did not report the theft to the police because she did not think they would be able to help get her money back. McElrath denied that Johnson's money was stolen and said employees never enter people's cars. McElrath and Thurman said they did not recall any interactions with Johnson. You can't pay me to go into that parking lot, Johnson said, because it's like they just sit bored, just towing people's cars for nothing. The companies denied that they are overcharging people who come to pick up their cars. State statutes outline when cars can be towed, as well as how much towing companies can charge. State regulations allow a maximum towing fee of $150 plus an additional $25 to $35 for every day the vehicle is stored. Fees can be added under unique circumstances if special equipment is required to tow the vehicle. Videos and witness accounts of the cars towed by King's Trucking and DT Towing show employees using a hook and chain, a normal method outlined in state statutes. However, Johnson and several others on social media described being charged at least $430 immediately after the cars were towed. That's what they were charging the person I was helping, because they was talking about we had to use special equipment because it was a four-wheeler. I mean, it was a something 4x4, some mess that they said. So we had to use special equipment. But Thurman said trucks often use special equipment, which legally raises the price, like the tools needed to raise a car onto a flatbed. State statutes also require signage on the property stating unauthorized parking is prohibited. The notice should be at each vehicle entrance to the parking area, which is something that I raised a concern about. Mabry, who has filmed the tow trucks, showed public investigator one sign posted on a pole above a handicapped parking spot at the Hampton Shopping Center. So I got to go to break, but I'll just mention this. Folks, even over at Evolve Church, say members' cars have been towed during worship services. And the problem has gotten so bad, the church has designated people to watch the lot and make sure cars are not improperly towed. The church is about 2 miles away from the Hampton Shopping Center. Over the past month, Allen said she's increasingly noticed cars being taken from both the church's parking lot and the lot next door. An older woman's car was towed with her house key inside. A mother's vehicle was towed with her breast pump inside. These people have no compassion. So the story goes on. It's a long story. Um, I was almost done with it, but this was a thing that I said to people to be careful about where you are parking your car because we have these predatory brothers in this city riding around making they hustle off taking people's cars. And they are overcharging people. I don't care what they say. And then when you find out that they own financial house in terms of their business operations is not in order and they're being deceptive using two companies when somebody's thinking they're contracting with one, they some shysters. Period. Period. And if these stores that own these lots don't begin to get these lots off these two tow companies off their lots, we need to stop going to those stores. I'm gonna say it again. I gotta go to break. But if the tow companies are continue to allow to operate on these lots, we need to let businesses in those areas know we will not shop at your store as long as this company does business with your lot. I got to take a break. I'll be right back. else said, so then does that mean that the cars that have been told that people should be getting their money back? Yeah, I know I'll be reaching out to this unit to talk about the scenario in which, and then this was the thing that's so crazy. Like I had to go get cash because they wouldn't accept a debit card. And I was like, well, why not? Well, because people then reverse the payment or cancel the payment. So I had to literally go get cash to go get her car. Um, and you can tell like the discretion that people have because, oh, well, somebody said either individual or class action lawsuit. That's exactly what I was thinking about. That some lawyer here in town needs to say, hey, everybody that's been impacted, reach out to me because they need to make these brothers give people their money back because they ain't nothing but some damn poverty pimps. Because you are patrolling areas that are frequented in black neighborhoods. And then you start talking about people, particularly folks that are handicapped or have handicap placards, having their vehicles towed. Most people in those situations, a lot of those people are elderly. They are on fixed incomes. They have limited earning capacity. They don't have $400, $450 to give y'all. But, and then nobody's calling you to come get the car, just like some damn sharks, you circling the waters and just, waiting like a vulture. And then you see this woman going in with her baby. So this sister got to come out with her child and you trying to take people's cars. Because the day that I went to the lot, there had to be about 10 cars on the lot. And I'm sitting there doing the math in my head. So if all of these cars is on the lot, then I'm looking at about $4,000 right now.
Michelle, didn't I hear you say somewhere in the article that they're supposed to take them to the city lot or something like that, that they don't have the license to store vehicles?
Yeah, one company has a lot. That's the 26 and Silver Spring location. But the other company that they are partnering with, they tag teaming on, that company doesn't have. And they have to have their own lot to tow.
So since they don't, if the vehicle was towed with the company that doesn't have the lot, but is yet taking it to the other lot because they work together, that's a violation within itself.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Yeah. That's what they're saying. And he was talking about, well, I didn't know I couldn't do that. And I thought what we was doing was legal. No, you scamming. And because when your LLC stuff is invalidated by the state, they send you notification and everything. So since 2019, your paperwork ain't been in order with the state of Wisconsin. But you out here, it just never can't just never do business right. Just can't never do business right. And then the people you prey on be your own people. That's the thing. You Negroes is out here preying on your own people to make $1.
Because if I see her go in with that baby, I know she got to have her
Come
car.
on now.
She needs her car. So I can get that one. Right?
Come on now.
Yeah.
You see it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more important for you to get your 450 because didn't nobody call you to come move her car. But you got to have your hustle. Because the dude that was one of the owners, I think he was one of the owners when he pulled up in his Mercedes Benz. And I just was looking at him like, really? But y'all are some poverty pimps. And you preying on other black people. That's what you doing. Didn't nobody call you and ask you to move a car. You created business for yourself. We're going to just patrol the lot and look for people's cars to take. And then somebody said, sorry, Michelle, what's going on? I'm just talking about this tow truck company these brothers own here in Milwaukee that's out taking advantage of folks in our community so that they can make $1. What is it? What's the name of the little companies? I'll have to go back and pull it up. I know King's Towing or some nonsense. And just think about that. King's Towing and some D2 McElrath, their company. But it just infuriates me because the person that I had to help, that person does not have that kind of money. And it was such a minor thing. But any little small technicality that you could end up taking somebody's car. And just to know it's brothers out here preying on members of our community. And you can justify it in your mind any way you want to, but nobody called you to tow that car. The parking lot is not not functioning because somebody is illegally blocking somebody and doing something so out of pocket that is creating a disturbance or a problem. Y'all riding around hustling, looking for how to take people's cars. You saw that woman going in that store with her baby. And if you thought she had did something, somebody could have said, hey, sis, that can get you towed. You might want to fix that. But you watched and you waited for her to go in that store. That lady said, I forget something, turn around, within 5 minutes, I'm back. And my car is gone. You watched her get out with her baby. Y'all ain't nothing but some lousy poverty pimps. That's what y'all are.
He need to be made to pay that back, especially.
They need to be, I want my money back.
Any car that was towed outside of the name of, well, who the owner has a contract with. That if anybody that was towed with that other company, he owe that.
Yeah, because I'm just like, that wasn't, you know, and like,
that's illegal.
Well, we
they
working
didn't have
together.
A right to be on that private property to tow.
Yeah, and somebody said the attorney general needs to be contacted. Like, all of that's gonna happen. All of that's gonna happen. I am so mad with these people. And thank you to Montre Maber, because this dude, Monty, is always on the lookout for trying to help this community. I have seen his name 100 times in connection to work that was being done in the Senate office. He was forever pulling Lena's coattail about this or that. We need to be a part of this. We need to work on that. We need to fix this. So thank you to that brother, because how many people would take the time to start intervening? What did the article say? He stopped 3 vehicles from being towed. And the person who I went to assist, she was like, because I think they had her car for 24 hours. So she called her, I see you, I'll be right there. She was just like, you know, I don't know when I would have been able to get my car back, because I don't have it. I got people, they got just enough to take care of the necessities. There is no room for ancillary charges or extras. So I'm just going to keep drilling that. Stay away from these businesses who allow these these tow companies to come on their lot. I applaud the church for having somebody standing outside, but the church needs to get with whoever owns that parking lot where their church is located to complain. You can't just put people out front. You got to complain, because I'm sure whoever owns that lot realizes they are benefiting from the church being there. I'm assuming, I don't know. I can't imagine you own the building, because if you own the building, then nobody should be able to be taking cars off the parking lot, because you should have some rights, hopefully. But however it works, people have got to be more diligent. They have videos on Facebook showing these 2 black dudes in a red pickup truck by Rockies. Okay, let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Greetings, Michelle, Debo.
Hey, good morning.
He's up in there listening. Yeah, this is something that personally, I had 2 vehicles taken off of a private lot that I had stored, and it seemed like it was these type of characters. And I was waiting at a couple, talking to people in the community. It's also a couple junkyards to take these vehicles, you know, illegally after hours. They allow people to crush certain cars, and it's clear that, you know, not only the money, but then the benefit of the people towing, getting people money, and, you know, as the statistics show, that half the stolen guns come out of vehicles. So there's a lot of goodies people get out of vehicles when they're thieves. But I think just looking at, you know, in my view, how does law enforcement, this system, allow these type of people to get away when we have whole organizations shut down because it's a perception that they did something, then they go to court later. If they shut these businesses down, OIC or SDC, when it's a suspect. But when we have real criminals and it be clear that people violated the law, they able to bail out for $1,000 and drive over people, or $700 and shoot people down at Juneteenth. That we have this thing where certain people that really do like really messed up stuff in our population are able to get away scot free. And the issue I have is that as an advocate, and when you fight for people that's 100% innocent, I've told the district attorney this, it's so out of order that y'all hold people, you know you're going to release those charges on.
Hmm.
But they have to go to attorney and pay them $5,000-$10,000 to have it dismissed. And they should have never had the charges in the first place. You got these people where the city is saying it's illegal, and they still operate. So I'm just looking at the nuisance statute.
It's hard to hear you, bro.
It says jurisdiction over nuisance.
Shiar, we can't hear you.
It says any person. Can you hear me?
No, it's all muffled.
823. Did you hear that?
I just heard 823.
Statute 823 is about about nuisances in general. This is a public nuisance. This is interfering with people's livelihood and ability to enjoy life in the city of Milwaukee. That's one statute they should be able to get them on. In addition, with already violating the law with the LLCs and the fact that they're LL, well, I ain't going to say it. I'm going to text it to you because there's some other things that you can do with them as an LLC that I bet that they're going to violate. That I've seen other LLC violations. I'll text you that one.
All right, thank you, bro.
Yep.
All right, appreciate it. And look, I'll say this too, and I meant to bring it up last week. I had also gotten some calls. I think it was a week before because I think it was around the same time we were dealing with losing Keon. But I had gotten a call that there was some tow trucks moving around in the city towing people's cars at night, and they found out that these were not real tow companies, that they were literally just stealing people's cars and stripping them for parts and taking them and breaking them down over on the south side. But I had received two of those. People reached out to me twice saying, Michelle, that people, went back, looked at their Ring cameras and tried to figure out like who these vehicles were. There was no identifying information on it, not even a phone number, nothing. There was nothing that could tell you how to find this tow company. And that people were, calling all of the places they thought their car should or, would be if it had been legally towed away. And what they had been finding is that there were a group of people moving around in the city illegally towing cars, but it was because they were stealing them. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle. It's Bryant.
Hey, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum to you. I'm glad you're talking about towing. Wow. Because this, a similar situation just happened to my relative. Her Jeep was taken. It broke down. She had it needs a tune-up. It wasn't parked illegally. It was, it had its plates and stuff like that. It wasn't causing any type of problem. There were no signs posted that said you couldn't park here for however long or anything like that. And she would go to check on her car because her car wasn't too far from her house. So this past Monday, we went downtown to the city attorney's office, and the people there told us that we couldn't talk to the city attorney because I knew it was an illegal tow and it happened to me. But I went to speak with the city attorney and he gave me a release, and I went back to the place and got my car. But when we tried to speak with the city attorney, the two ladies that were there, they were playing tag team as to how we would gain access to just having a conversation with this attorney man, or our assistant DA, because I've gone down there for traffic tickets and I sat right across from an ADA or somebody that got something to do with the law, and we talked. But all in all, what I'm saying is that they're making it impossible for you to retrieve a property that is rightfully yours, and the city, just as well as these renegade people who are posing as legitimate toll companies, and they're just crooks. They're all in all doing the same thing to people. And she doesn't have a car, and she has a lot of other things going on. And she's the mother of my niece, who we had that was missing. So it's a lot of stuff that is going on, and we trying to figure out how come we couldn't see the city attorney to talk to him or her or one of them about the illegal uh, uh, how they just took her property illegally.
How long ago
Because
was that,
so
Christopher?
this was last week. It's been almost about. I think it happened probably about Wednesday or last week Thursday. It was the latter part of last week, and we had to get on it immediately because you have to get on it immediately, or else they're gonna do something. They might destroy your property and then bill you, or I don't know what they do. When they get your stuff, you just got to get on it and stay on it. So I don't know how come we couldn't talk to the city attorney. That's my question. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, thank you. So I'm actually getting ready to text the city attorney right now and let him know that there was an issue, and I'll do it in the break. But I'm gonna text the city attorney right now and let him know about your experience and what went on. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yes, hi, good morning.
Good
Yeah, I
morning.
wanted to say something on that about the toll. And
Yes.
uh, I work for the polls, and up on 35th and Village at the library. That's where I work.
Okay.
I walked out of there one night, and my car was gone. And I'm like, what happened to my car? I thought somebody had stole my car. And they got a toll company right there on Green Bay and Carmel. Comes in because they said after 8 o'clock, if you don't have, if you live in an apartment building, they would tow your car. But I'm on parked on the library parking lot. And I'm like, why did you tow my car? Because the police and everybody, they were wondering, what happened to your car? They told me, well, we took your car, but we got it stored for later. So wind up a person that lived in the building told us where that tow company was. Went to the company looking for my car. My car was not there. A half an hour later, they had a truck come in with my car. But my point is, why would they tow your car? They know you were still working there because you worked a little late at the poll. And thank God to Shante Hampton. He got up because I called the mayor. I called everybody I could call in the city to get my car back. They wanted me to pay their high toll fee, which had got us to like $385 overnight.
Mm.
And even downtown, at the they gonna tell me, well, pay it and you might get your money back. Why would I want to pay for something and I'm working for the polls at the time? Now, do they have, other words, what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean that's crazy because you actually there working for the city.
Working for the city. And that's what they told me. And saying I'm a fighter. I'll believe when I feel like I'm right, I will fight you to the end. So I called Shantae because Shantae and my son went to school together. Shantae got on the job right away. And he called me later that evening and says, you can go get your car. And when I got to the toll lot, you know what the man said to me?
What?
You sure believe hitting at the top and not the bottom. I said, right. Because I went to the mayor. I went to everybody I could. I was all the way up in Madison everywhere. But I got my car back. And I did not have to pay. But you need to watch. I don't know the name of the toll company. But they're right there on Green Bay and Congress.
Green Bay, because I know, and thank you, ma'am, for the call. I appreciate it, and thank you for the heads up for the community, because I know there are a number of apartment complexes that now have contracted with these private tow companies, and so they're having cars towed off the lots of their apartment complexes. So but you're right, when you got a shared space and the library is right
Yeah,
there up underneath those housing units, then how do you know who's there for what?
but
So,
tell.
oh my God. Well, I'm so
Okay,
glad you got that car back.
let me say this here right quick.
Yes, ma'am.
But you know what? The lady that was manager over the, like the library,
Mm-hmm.
she told me, Cece, you open our eyes because a lot of times they come in there and have meetings and they could tow their cars because even the security guard that was working there, they was taking her car, they was pulling her car up on the truck. And my son, because I called him and let him know my car had been stolen, but it wasn't stolen. He stood on that table. He would not move. The man said, well, I'm calling the police. He said, you don't have to. I'm calling them already.
Mm.
And he stood on that table and he saved that security guard car from being pulled up. And like I said, I got my car back. But out of all of that, I just want you to know, watch that tow company on Green Bay and Franklin.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate the call. Somebody texted me and they said, luckily for her, she knew someone. I know that she said that her child had gone to school with Ashanti Hamilton, but this is the thing, y'all. Whether that was the immediate connection or not, the other thing is that I know to call my elected officials. And I know to ride they behinds until they help me figure it out, particularly when I'm there working for the city of Milwaukee. Like, so, we have to know what our resources are. And that's why when people, I don't vote, I don't get down like that, I don't do this. What I tell you, from cradle to grave, these people impact your life. What did Christopher say? We couldn't speak to somebody at the city attorney's office because we was getting a runaround. What did I say? I'm going to text the city attorney himself and let him know that this was Christopher's experience and try to find out what the heck went on. And what is the protocol for somebody that walks in off the street that needs assistance? Why can I do that? Because I vote, because I'm engaged in the process. You can't have it both ways. You got people that don't want to be engaged and don't want to be, get up off their behind and go vote. And then stuff happens to you and you don't understand why it's happening or how to even do something about it. I understand. That's why it's important who you elect to office. That's why it's important that you show up on voting day to make sure the right people get in. And that you understand who you picking to represent you. So I can't say that enough. I can't say that enough. And people that's gonna fight for you and go to bat for you. So let me switch gears for a second because speaking of the state and people getting elected and understanding who's representing your interest, I gotta take a break. But when I come back, Republican legislator puts out this, statement, basically accusing Milwaukee Public Schools of breaking the law because they have not brought on the 25 police officers that were required of them under a new state law that Milwaukee Public Schools had to have officers placed in their schools, even though the school board had voted to end their contract with the Milwaukee Police Department and not want to have police in the schools. So I'm going to talk about that on the other side of the break. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Say something real, y'all. I'll be right back. I just love Carvey's hair. It just makes him look all even taller with his skinny self. Oh, wait. Slim. He'll slimmy. He'll slimmy. I forgot to take your. No, I did take your picture. I got to send it to the listener who was like, send me a picture of Carvey so I can see what he looked like. So I got to send that picture because I did take it. All right. So before I went to the break, I said that um, there's a whole bunch of recent attention being given to a mandate that was made by the state of Wisconsin regarding Milwaukee public schools returning police officers to their buildings. And they had set a date of January 1st, 2024 to make this happen. So Journal Sentinel, again, Johnny on the spot with the information, has an article this morning, but we had started talking about it yesterday because there was press releases that had been flying around. I know Rep Myers and I had discussed it because, their frustration, at least in terms of her office, is that you as a legislative body being controlled by Republicans, you come up with unfunded mandates. So I tell Debo from now on, when I come to work every day, you need to have a full course breakfast waiting on me every day when I hit the door. And Debo was like, who gonna pay for that? Yeah, that's not my problem. But you need to have that waiting every day when I come in. And then if Debo doesn't, then I'm trying to figure out how to get Debo fired or jailed because you're not doing what I told you I wanted done. Super simplistic, but it captures the general concept of the fact that the state of Wisconsin, when they passed Act 12 in June of 2023, and this was about Act 12, which looked at increasing funding for local governments. That's the shared revenue conversation. That's the ability for the city of Milwaukee to get their sales tax increases. They included a requirement that only targeted Milwaukee public schools. See, I tell people all the time, I don't care what these people say and do. And when I say these people, I'm talking about Republicans right now. There's always going to be a rub. There's always going to be something in it that benefits them or the constituency that vote for them. In this case, the Milwaukee Police Department or the Milwaukee Police Union. So they put this requirement in that only targets Milwaukee public schools that says that they have to put at a minimum 25 school resource officers into the schools during the regular school hours, have them at the ready for events before and after school and extracurricular activities as needed. Now, while Republican lawmakers was like, oh, this is going to make schools safer, they don't care about safety at MPS. Let's not even play. And even increase teacher recruitment. Again, let's stop playing. They're not trying to make sure that these children in Milwaukee public schools are okay, because everywhere they can figure out how to strip money out of the district and have left these districts cash poor. So I care about what happens to y'all. All that's BS. So you have the law that's in place that says that this has to happen. Well, MPS, y'all already realize it's a hot mess over there. They behind on reports that are due to DPI. We finding out that all is not copacetic in their accounting process, that there are problems that we didn't know about going into the referendum. And my phone is going off the hook. And there are, problems with the referendum problems going into the referendum that we had no idea about. So where is money supposed to come from? And the state is like, well, we gave y'all share revenue increases. We gave y'all the 2% sales tax. But how is it that you give us money or an opportunity to increase our revenue, but then you try to tell us how we got to spend it? Because this is an estimated additional $1 million a year. So Who gonna pay for that? We came to you because we was already broke. So I come to you broke. I need to borrow $100. You give it to me, and then you tell me, but Michelle, I'm gonna need you to get $20 to Basquiat over here so he can go get his hair done. But I needed the whole 100 because of the bills I already have. You're creating a new bill for me. So the fact that you gave me money or allowed me, put me in a position to be able to get more dollars, but those dollars, when we negotiated the deal, we all understood that those dollars were not even enough to save me from the financial crisis that I was facing. It staved some of it off for a while. But we have heard, the mayor has talked about that 2025, we right back in the same situation in some cases. Departments are going to be asked to make draconian cuts again. We still are standing at the cliff. We were thrown a lifeline, but it was not enough to make us whole or to put us back on track. So you create another bill for us. And then when people are like, we haven't really figured out how to make this happen, you start trying to talk about y'all purposely violating the law and potentially somebody needs to go to jail. One of the things that, was so egregious about all of this is that the NPS School Board of Directors, this comes off the heels of George Floyd. A lot of stuff is going on. We've had issues in the problems. We've had issues in the past with the way some of the heavy-handed policing and stuff has occurred in schools. And so NPS makes a decision that they don't want to have police in the schools in this capacity. They don't want to. They already have resource officers or security, safety that are NPS staff. So I got those people, and y'all, we had the contract with MPD, and we're like, that's okay. We good. But Republicans, and the union didn't like that NPS was basically putting them out of the schools. So Republicans, to show favor and curry continued support from their constituents in the union, they say, don't worry about it. We got y'all. We're going to force them to take y'all back. We're going to force them to have to put police back in the schools. We're going to force them. So the law requires NPS to decide which of its schools to station the police in based on school crime data, and to train them in topics like de-escalation and working with young adults. So I got to bring you in. Then I got to train you on de-escalation. Shouldn't police officers be getting de-escalation training just to be on the job, period? Isn't that a part of what y'all learn at the academy? And then I got to train you how to work with young people. I'm sorry, wait, what? So who's paying for the training? Who's paying for all these additional costs? Of course, there was undertones of racism that was happening because it was only being targeted at Milwaukee Public School District. We know this is not the only district in which police get called to the district for issues. It may have higher numbers because we got a larger population of people. The law doesn't detail what happens if NPS fails to comply with the requirement or to miss the deadline. Act 12 didn't include any funding, leaving NPS and the city of Milwaukee to find the money, agree on a contract, and get it approved by the school board. Employing 25 full-time resource officers is expected to cost, I'm sorry, I was off on my number. I didn't remember it correctly. But looking at the story, it's expected to cost over $2 million a year. That's based on a calculation that each of these officers on an entry level is going to make about $84,600, which includes salary and benefits. You understand why the union was fighting for this? Because I'm increasing employment for officers. $84,600 is entry level. This is more than state legislators. This is more than the salaries of even some, like principals, assistant principals. Like, this is crazy. I'm not saying you're not worth it. I don't know how many entry level jobs come in at 84,000. I don't know, because that's a hell of an entry level for somebody that don't even have to have a college degree. That's a heck of an entry level number to me. $84,000. And you mandating, you done created a $2 million bill for our district that we got to figure out how to pay for. NPS, they're saying hiring the police officers comes at a difficult time. District is already subject to the state audit. They got financial troubles. They got turnover of key administrators. So they got a lot going on. They've had a long history with police in the schools, but they removed them first time in 2016, citing concerns that law enforcement officers were unnecessarily arresting students who could have been disciplined by the district for behavior. Then in 2020, the school board severed the contracts for police who patrol school grounds. Okay. Act 12 forced NPS to reverse all those steps and put the police back in the schools. District administrators last formally updated the public on their plans to respond in a board meeting on February 29th. During that meeting, Posley at the time said that they were creating a plan in response to Act 12 that redefines the previous roles of school resource officers in NPS. But the district said, we have been trying to figure out how other districts are doing it. So they went and toured schools in Washington, D.C. They went down to Georgia to learn about school resource officer programs that, quote, implement a variety of practices focused on improving relationships between students, law enforcement, youth, and the greater community. So people got upset. People got hot. Republicans like, well, why is you spending money going to look at what other places are doing? That's money you could have been paying these salaries with. No, it's not. I haven't spent $2 million going to look at best practices to make sure that this is done right. Somebody hit me up and they said there are some elementary principals that make $84,000 on the entry level, and they have a master's degree and at least 5 years of experience, and they are already underfunded. Just think about that, because I'm trying to figure out who set that starting entry level pay. Because I didn't know regular Milwaukee police officers coming in off the street out of the training academy come in making $84,000. I ain't know that. Like, when that start happening? So there's going to be a meeting tonight. NPS administrators will update the public and school board about their next steps at 5:30 p.m. tonight. Anyone can watch the meeting live on YouTube. Caller, I see you. I'll be right there. They can watch the meeting live on YouTube, or they can, actually attend in person, 5225 West Felice Street. So just understand that this discussion is happening, or this update, tonight. $2 million. $2 million. You create a $2 million bill for us. Somebody said which is why the school board should have sued the legislature for overriding their ability as an elected body. But that was too much like right. Because, you think about it. The school board, I wonder, did they look into what legal recourse they had against the state for this unfunded mandate? And the state is good at doing that. You're going to tell people what to do, but you're not putting no money behind it. Well, let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
I just want to show you an interrelationship into what's going on with this unfunded mandate of the school. I was in Vegas on my anniversary in July, and my Ring camera went off at 7 o'clock Vegas time, and I could see somebody trying to break into my neighbor's house next door. So I called the police. I called District 7 directly from Vegas and told them what was going on. They said they would get somebody out. So I waited and waited. I called back. Make a long story short, they finally called me at 11 o'clock Vegas time, which was 1 o'clock Milwaukee time, and said that they finally responded. When I asked the officer why it took so long for them to come out and everything, well, we've got a shortage of people. We're investigating other things that have more priority, and that's why. And he was very nonchalant. He didn't act like he didn't care. But my point is this: if it took them 4 hours to respond to an attempted burglary now, and they're going to pull 25 police officers off the street to put them in schools, what happens to the response time then? And then couple that with the fact that this is nothing but a backdoor way for the Republican legislatures to start the school to prison pipeline again. That's all it is. That's why they're demanding it, because there are people that are invested in these prisons, which are public corporations now, need that. And as you said, over about a year or so ago, they've already got the psychological profiles of our kids from third grade on up. They know who they can harass and put in prison and everything from the third grade on up. And also talk about this training for the police officers to go into these schools. That training is going to go right over their head, because at their core, they are police officers and they're looking for criminals. And they're going to criminalize our kids again. That's all this is about.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And that was one of the concerns that was raised by the school board, which is that police were dealing with these students, predominantly black and brown kids, in a way that they were escalating their engagement in the criminal justice system when it could have been dealt with at the school level. There could have been a suspension, in-school suspension, some disciplinary action. It did not rise to the level of you need to issue a ticket, a child needs to be arrested, a child needs to be, inserted into the criminal justice system. That was one of the main concerns. Now, on the other side of that, I think I saw somewhere in the article that there had been about 1,600 calls to the police department from MPS. So I don't want to gloss over or skip the fact that there have been times when they have had to call for assistance. But no different than the city of Milwaukee, MPS has 70 some thousand kids in that district. And so that's less than 1% of the students that there may be an issue or a problem. I'm just saying that things happen and you're going to call the police. But, they wanted to use the numbers that say, see, we need to just have officers posted up there. No, that's not a justification for that. It's not. Things happen. So just again, as a reminder to people that are interested in this issue, school board meeting tonight at 5:30, if you would like to go and weigh in. All right. Let me turn my attention for just a second to, I think I mentioned it. I might have mentioned this yesterday. I don't remember, but I just got to mention it again if I didn't. Because as many of us sat back in horror and watched the January 6th attacks, I don't think anybody, while it was happening in real time, didn't believe, this is the craziest mess I've ever seen. White people scaling the Capitol looking like, terrorists from another country, fighting law enforcement, just breaching security gates. It just looked like a hot mess in DC. And there were people that participated in this from all over the country. Of course, Wisconsin was represented in the foolishness. Of course, somebody from Milwaukee was a part of the foolishness. There was a man by the name of Paul Kovacic. That's it. Paul Kovacic. Or Vasic. um, who was a part of the breach on the Capitol, attacking people, a part of the riots, a part of the mob. So he got sentenced to 3 months in a federal prison for his participation in the January 6th riot. Okay. He got 3 months. Instead of doing his 3 months, Paul Kovacevic, I'm messing with this last name, he decides I'm going to run to Ireland and I'm going to seek asylum to avoid the prison sentence. So you could go to jail for 3 months, or you could leave the country, go to Ireland, and try to seek political asylum. So right away, many of us are going, just not that bright. Your participation in the riot already indicative of that. And now here's the confirmation. Just not that bright. So he goes. He leaves the country. He goes and he decides and he files for asylum. But he decides that he's going to leave Ireland and come back to the US because he told the authorities he was homesick. So he wanted to withdraw his request for asylum. So, okay. All right. All right. So they tell dude, yeah, come on back, bro. We understand. You was like Michelle, you got over there, you found out there was no ADA requirements. The food not quite the same. I mean, Tom Barrett might be enjoying Ireland, but yeah, that's not for me. So they say, come on, you can come back. But understand this. When you come back, you're going to do your 3 months, right? And now you facing 10 years. So, yes, yes. So stupid. now. And they said when he fled to Dublin, Ireland, he went through Germany on the day he was supposed to report to the prison in Chicago. So he was supposed to go to prison on August 22nd of last year, but the judge agreed to extend the deadline to November 1st of last year after he requested more time for his seasonal employment at a theme park in Georgia. Let's say that out loud. See how white folks get treated? I'm sorry. I'm going to call a spade right now. So this white man worked part-time at Great America.
Great America.
You cannot make this stuff up. This white man worked part-time at Great America, and he's supposed to go to jail for mutiny, for trying to overthrow the United States federal government and impact the peaceful transfer of power, and is found guilty of doing whatever connected to that. And he is supposed to report to prison on August 22nd. But the judge is swayed after he says, Your Honor, I work at Great America.
Wow.
I work at Great America and down in Georgia. But you live in Milwaukee. But I work at Great America. And this is the height of the season.
Making this up.
What?
Are you making this up?
It's in the media.
Wow.
Google it.
Wow.
And this is our busy time. because I operate a ride at Great America and it's part-time. I'm not even a full-time employee. It's part-time. And Great America will not be able to function if I'm not there to take the ticket or check the wristband.
Yeah, he's a greeter. Welcome to Great America.
Only for white boys does this foolishness happen. I'm sorry. Y'all can get mad at me. Y'all call me racist. Y'all call me prejudiced. Y'all call me whatever you want to call me.
You telling the truth.
No black man could have told a judge I work part-time at Great America and I need to not go to jail yet and start my prison sentence because I need to get through the busy season.
Right. My job needs me.
At Great America. And the judge said, okay.
Maybe he's the CEO.
Part-time?
Yeah, that's about right.
Part-time?
All right.
Like, does nobody else find the audaciousness of this story to just beam the word privilege?
You know what it sounds like, though?
Caller, I'll be right there. What?
Typical Trump supporter.
I mean,
the judge, too.
All of it. All of it. Like, this dude said he was a political prisoner. Didn't nobody call you and ask you to come to the Capitol and tear up and act a fool? Didn't nobody call you, bruh? And if they did, you didn't have to go. So, you know, I don't like quoting Keith, and I don't always agree with this quote, but there are no victims here. You volunteered for this mission. When you volunteer, there are consequences for the choices that you make, fam. But true to people with privilege, I shouldn't be held accountable because I'm a political prisoner. I mean, I disagreed with what happened. And therefore, I went to tear up the property and to holler, hang Mike Pence and to, you know, threaten members of Congress. How dare you hold me accountable? Well,
you know,
okay.
I shudder to think what would have.
Do you shudder?
I shudder to think what potentially could have happened if they had found Mike.
Come
Pence.
on, or Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah.
Because somebody was an idiot.
Yeah.
There was some idiots in that group.
Considering there's folks that lost their lives.
Yeah, the
You know,
little
some of the
silly
Capitol
white
Police
girl who tried to
didn't
climb
even
through the
wanna
window
yeah.
of that office space, and she gonna break the window out.
Yeah.
You know, and Donald, and again for the Negroes that want to support Donald Trump, the black men who sit there behind even here and want to support Donald Trump or call into this radio station, the black police officer that had to shoot that woman because she broke that glass out trying to get through that locked door to get to members of Congress. The way you knew it was a black man was because when you see his hand come out of that window, you realize with the gun in it, it's a brother. You realize it's a person, a black man. And Donald Trump was trying to get that man's name released to the public. He wanted people to go after that black police officer, black men who support Donald Trump. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle.
Hey, good morning, bro.
I thought he did release the name.
I think it did come out, too. I think it did come out.
But, you know, Michelle, we say all the time, it's a white man's world.
Man.
Look at our favorite president, what he did yesterday. Knowing that he wasn't supposed to do that. They told him he wasn't supposed to do that, and he still went ahead and did it.
Tell people what you're talking about.
When he went to Arlington and took those photo ops yesterday.
And they lied. They used the families.
Knowing he ain't supposed to do that.
They used the families of 13 fallen service members and said, oh, the family invited Donald Trump out to commemorate this moment. But there just happened to be a cameraman there. That's what JD Vance said. There just happened to be a cameraman there. And then shortly thereafter, all of these photos just happened to appear on Donald Trump's social media outlet, Truth Social. And then
he told the vice president to go to hell.
Yeah.
And I mean, what kind of stuff is that?
I mean, ignorance, what they parlay in, and you got brothers standing behind. Ignorance, total ignorance. And They knew they were making a political commercial. They knew what they was
Of
doing.
course they did. He knew what he was doing,
I
and they
mean,
don't
this man
care.
looked dead in your face and lie. And these people
Right.
figure out a way to tap dance around it. Jermaine on our show, in talking to a number of these people that come through here, he was like, but y'all know he lying. Y'all concede and admit he lying. So why are you asking me to support this individual? Because if you lie about the small stuff, you for sure gonna lie about the big stuff.
Right. Exactly, Michelle. You know, you were just talking about the white privilege thing. But you know what's crazy about it, Michelle? They'll look you, like you just said, they'll look you right in your face until you don't know what you're talking about. And they know they got white privilege. Let that happen. And we go back and forth. Like, if Obama would have did any, well, let's just say, if Michelle would have took a naked picture in a magazine,
Come on now.
it's a wrap. It's a wrap. But what I really call for is just to kind of lighten the mood and just ask you a question. Where is this parking lot where this is happening at?
It's happening at multiple parking lots. So this one was over off of Hampton, but they've done it at the parking lot on East Capitol where the Ross and the Office Depot is. They've done it even up here by the Walgreens parking lot off of 76 and Capitol. So it's happening at multiple parking lots around the city.
So how can they come on a privately owned lot and tow your car?
Because
unless you're in a handicap spot.
So they have a relationship or a contract with the owners of those parking lots. But as in this story that was done by the Journal Sentinel, one of the things that the owner said is, I thought I had a contract with George. I didn't know George was working with Michelle and had Michelle picking up trucks off my lot too. And supposedly you're supposed to be called to come pick up a car. They were just sitting around and wait like sharks for somebody to do something so that they could snatch their car. So that's kind of the backstory on it.
Mm. Well, what I called to just to lighten the mood a little bit, tell you to watch this movie called The Supremes. They eating that Earl.
Oh yeah,
Diner.
I said I was gonna watch it. I saw the trailer for
now.
Is it called what?
The Supremes eating. What is it? The Supremes.
All you can eat at Earl's Diner.
Yeah.
Oh, I watched it the other day.
Oh, did you?
Very good. Very good.
Michelle, I know you from talking to you on the radio, and then I met you at Keon's homegoing service. But the one lady in that movie, Michelle, her name is Othello.
Okay.
She puts me in the mind of you.
Really?
So yeah. So when you watch it, you're gonna start cracking up. Debo.
Yes, sir.
Do you think that Othello might put you in the mind of Michelle?
Yeah. Especially when she took that dress off and said, well, come on then. Come on then. I'm finally get a chance to use some of this my daddy done taught me.
What?
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Oh, I like her.
She was like, hey, Debo. She was like, knuckle up, fool.
Yeah. Hey, she went to cracking her knuckles, both hands. She was like, crack, crack, crack. Come on. Put that belt back. He said, man, forget that. Get out of here.
Michelle, when I was watching that, it put me, I said, it just made me think of you when I watched that character, Michelle.
Okay, well, I gotta
check
check
it out. You're gonna love
this
movie, Michelle.
Yeah,
okay.
Very
yeah,
good
I've been
story.
seeing the trailer. I've been saying I gotta
you.
watch it. Okay,
Bye-bye.
bro. All right, appreciate it.
You got another caller holding, and we need to take a break.
Okay, let me get the other caller. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning. Let me get you off speaker.
What'd you say?
He said,
Get you off speaker. Okay, first of all, you were talking about that January 6th. One of the things I found appalling, you got 100 men in an office and the guy stands there on a desk and defecates, and they thought that was okay. They'd kind of let you know what kind of people was at that January 6th thing. But can I change it up a little?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was watching Channel 6 or 12, 212 this morning, and they were talking about the book bag giveaway that happens every year. If you got to give my kid a book bag in the first grade, the third grade, the fifth grade, the ninth grade, something is wrong with somebody. Something's wrong. But speaking on them book bags, you got churches, bars, and different entities giving out them book bags. I got a question or a challenge, as we like to get into challenges like the Elsa's challenge, Smoke a Blonde, all them nonsense challenges. I got two of them, matter of fact. Show me where one of these people who operate these taco trucks in our neighborhoods, these weed stores, the gas stations, the lemon pepper places, where you've seen any of them give out book bags. Just give anything back to the community that makes them filthy rich. And secondly, with school approaching real quick, we got another challenge. A lot of these fathers, this is for the men that's not working, that's not doing anything, that has 2 or 3 kids. Go to school with your kids. Our kids can't read. Go sit in the classroom. They can't stop you from doing that. If you ain't got nothing to do, go sit with your class. Let the teacher get to know you, your child. Even if it's too crowded, some of y'all sit outside. That'll keep the Kia boys from driving on the sidewalk and potentially hurting your child. It's just a lot of things we can do. I'm kind of all over the place with this, but I was just having a random thought this morning. I hope I kind of made sense.
Okay. No, I understand some of the things, and I'm sorry, bro. I was looking up, talking to somebody. But I understand, the intent behind some of the things that you're saying. But I'm gonna just say this: when it comes to if somebody needs a free book bag,
No,
what's
it's
going
sad that
on?
they need it. It's sad that they need it.
But yeah, but I want to be
continuously.
clear. There are people that actually that makes a difference, because and a lot of these book bags, they're coming with a few supplies in them. That's one less thing I gotta buy as I try to figure out how to send this child back to school, and my money ain't right. I got kids whose parents are actually homeless and living in shelters who benefit from those book bag giveaways. I have some people who show up who probably don't need to be in the line. They honestly could probably buy a book bag, or the book bag that your kid had last year is still okay. But it is one of those things that many in the community try to come around to be able to do to figure out ways to help kids at least get off to a good start. Some of these book bags, by the time you hit the end of the school year, they look a raggedy hot mess. And if you buy a decent book bags about $15, $18, depending on where you're going. And then by the time I throw supplies in it, you're talking about probably a $40, little benefit that the parents have received. And if you got multiple children, that's $120 you didn't have to spend.
Yeah. I'm not talking about the people that was in line. My mother-in-law did it for years. Debo know my mother-in-law on 12th Street, and she just got a little older and she quit doing it. Did it for years.
Okay.
I'm not knocking the people that do it. I guess I'm more kind of frustrated and had these inner thoughts with the people that we make millionaires on these little corner stores and businesses.
No, I hear you on that.
When
like
they
don't do anything, but we allow that. They don't do anything.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly my point.
They do nothing. They don't support nothing now. There is rumors that some politicians' hands get hit and they fundraisers, see a few dollars. But no, they don't do nothing.
But Michelle, let me just interject.
Thank you, bro, for the call.
It's because folks allow for it. When I do my back to school, I go to Chicago Subs. I go to the gas station, who I got to put up with their rhetoric all night long since they want to be 24 hours in my neighborhood. And he donates, he buys all the hot dogs, he does whatever I ask him to do, because he understands the importance of my vote. Because it's just like it is.
I mean, and I think it depends on because some of these store owners are decent, and nobody's asked them to do anything. Now, could you do it on your own? Of course, but you ain't engaged in the community like that, so you don't know what's happening. Mm-hmm. So to be fair, we got to go back and look at how many people have ever asked them to do anything, or we just make the assumption that they won't. So thank you for making that point. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yes, good morning, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I have a question. Michelle, is Wisconsin at will state? Because I know you worked in Madison for a bit.
Yeah, so you mean as an employee in at will employment state?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Okay, because the thing I want to, he asked me that I have a comment, but there's a company called MGS in Germantown. There are a number of the black people that catch the bus or get a ride out there. This company has a tendency to terminate people because, hey, you come in here, your shoes are on the wrong foot, or you got the wrong color socks on. And there have been some black people that were supervisors that ended up whereas they lost their jobs the next day without any type of warning. And they make medical equipment. And I was just wondering, have you ever heard anything about this company called MGS in Germantown?
I haven't. And you
Okay,
said it's
because
MG as in giraffe?
yes, MGS, and they make medical equipment, from the federal government, and they have like busloads of Mexican people that they have working there, but they claim that they don't work for that company, but they've been there for 4 and 5 years.
Oh,
You know,
really?
and there was a young lady that was a supervisor out there. She wears a hazmat stuff and had to cover the shoes, and without giving her a suspension or anything, they terminated her on the spot because they said one day she didn't have the hazmat shoes on with the suit. But there was a white guy out there that was smoking hookah in the building, was suspended for 1 day and kept his job.
Got it.
And this is at MGS
Okay.
Manufacturing Company in Germantown.
All right. I'm looking it up now. Somebody's hitting me up saying that they believe they employ a lot of temp folks as well. So let me
Yes.
look and see what's going on out there. Thank you, bro, for flagging that.
Thank you so
All
much.
right. All right. Look, because folks gonna tell it. You can believe that. And it's people that know. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hello.
Hello.
I was listening to the radio as well. I'm actually a representative of DT2 Towing and Kingston Trucking Express.
Okay.
All right, and I was actually calling in regards to the claims, I want to say so far.
You said to the claims?
Yes, it was a lot of, from what I was listening to, it was a lot of misinformation being presented on this radio station.
In terms of the story that was written in the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel?
Yes, ma'am.
So are you saying that the Journal Sentinel had the story wrong?
Yes, ma'am.
What? Take a moment then to tell us what's going on from your perspective.
Okay. Well, let's start with, they said overpricing and gouging or something like that on the toll fees.
Right.
Okay. And in the city handbook ordinance of 93, dash either 4, 56, 53, 52, and the list goes on. Each company that's able to do non-consensual towing has a handbook that we have to go by. All right. Now, when it comes to the tow, that's $150 for the tow. If there's special equipment used by city, state, law, you can charge up to $150 for the special equipment. That starts as tow dollies, skates, snatch blocks.
But hang on,
chains.
bro. I just want to say they mentioned that. They mentioned that there's an allowance and an exception if special equipment has to be used. So that was said in the article.
Okay. And then you have a city tow number. Now, the city tow number is a $30 fee, which they actually call a pass-along fee. Okay? So that means that the tow company is charged $30 to run VINs and license plate numbers. That lets us know if the vehicle is stolen or not.
But hang on, bro. Let's look, because I think what's more useful by way of having you. And first of all, let me say thank you for calling in. To talk about this because a lot of people wouldn't do it. So I appreciate that. That's first of all. But to directly address some of the issues in the article. So I guess my first thing is when they talk about whether or not people have the appropriate LLC paperwork in order with the state of Wisconsin, what's your response to that?
Okay, for our particular company, we have the proper paperwork and permits. To be able to do non-consensual towing off of private property, you need something called a RSTP, which is a resalvage cycle tire premises. To be able to tow to work on Wisconsin streets, you need an RSTV for your vehicle. So that's V for vehicle or P for premises. With those two licenses, you are able to do non-consensual towing.
Okay, so hang on. So one of the companies that you work with, Kings and Trucking, they're not properly registered as an LLC.
And each private property contract is under DT2 towing.
But you're using a contractor that's not properly registered to do business in the state of Wisconsin.
And the Kings and Truck and Express does have a RSTV.
But they're not licensed properly to do business. They're not properly registered to do business in Wisconsin right now. And they haven't been since 2019. How we get around that?
But there is no way of getting around that. That's probably with the RSTV, which they do have.
Wait, and I need to correct that.
expired
I'm
in
saying that wrong.
2026.
Wait, hang on one second too, bro, because I'm saying that wrong. The company was registered in 2019, but they were dissolved in June of this year. So I need to make sure I say that correctly, because I just reread that when I was talking to you. So they've been out of compliance since it looks like June of this year. So that's one thing I wanted to make sure I correct. But so when people are talking about the way you actually go on the lots and get these cars, and folks are saying, like in my case, I actually, because if you were listening or somebody told you what I said, I went to go assist somebody whose car had been taken, and it was because her tire was on the yellow diagonal marks near the handicap space. And that seems a little predatory because it wasn't like she was significantly blocking anything. But the way people are trying to understand this is you all seem to have contracts in which you just on your own patrol these lots. No one's necessarily calling you to remove these cars. Is that incorrect or correct?
That's incorrect as well too.
So how does it work?
In the sense of using the word patrol, it's not a patrol thing, which is another false statement that was actually in the article for the Journal Sentinel. It's not a patrol thing. Each property, I can only speak for, let's clarify, there are multiple companies out there that does non-consensual towing. Okay? All of us do have to go by the same guidelines as well too. So I do want to state that. And the particular incident that you're speaking about, I don't know if that was a private property that was patrolled by DC2 Touring or Kings and Truck and Express. So are you able to tell me what property that was? So I can speak up on it?
Yeah,
because
in the
one
article,
thing that I can't speak for every tow company.
No, this was the Hampton Shopping Center that they cited in the article.
So the Hampton Shopping Center is something that I can speak upon because that is patrol. Now you said the situation was what again? That
let me just go back and see. This is over. Okay, so this is one that's where the young sister goes into the grocery store in 5 minutes. She realizes she forgot something. She turns around, comes back, and her car has already been removed. In the time it took her to walk into the store, realize she forgot something, come back out, go to her car and get what she needs. And so I guess I'm trying, because they said that up the street, Evolved Church parking lot, that cars were being towed from the church's parking lot, and that they were told by one of the drivers of the tow company, I'm sorry you're at church, but our job is to patrol their lot 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So there is a degree of patrolling that's going on, at least according to what they were told by one of the drivers.
Okay. Now, the shopping center, which is on 76 in Hampton, and then you have Evolved Church, which is in the 76 and Mill Road location. Those are two separate locations.
Right. Okay? They said it's just up the street from
it.
Yeah.
Both are patrolled by GT2 Towing. Okay. Now, on both of those properties, we have security at every single facility. All right. If they see multiple violators out there, we actually do have other facilities as well. But if they see multiple violators out there, yes, they will dispatch our company out there to correct the issue.
But bruh,
76 and Mill Road is indeed a very, very I don't know how to put it, but it's a very complicated site. Okay, by that I mean there are a lot of people that's parking the handicap fire lanes. They're blocking entrances. drive lanes and things of that nature, which is the reason why
So,
they contracted the
so you
company
can
to be able
understand.
to do it.
So I can understand that, but even in the article, they talk about the fact that some of the drivers were so aggressive in removing these cars, and in some cases they shouldn't have been. That the young man who has started videotaping and monitoring what was going on was successfully able to stop 3 cars from being towed because of what was happening
And
at the scene.
I'm
In one
very
case, they
happy
say
that you
that
brought that up. I'm very happy that you actually brought that situation up.
okay,
That was a situation on 76 in Capitol, okay? 7600 West Capitol. The occupant of the vehicle parked in a handicapped spot that was clearly displayed handicapped. In her vehicle, she did have a handicap placard that was not visible. She had the sun blocker blocking the windshield. So when the driver proceeded to pull up to the vehicle, they noticed they didn't see a handicap placard on the license plate. It's either imprinted with like the letters on the license plate or a sticker. They didn't see the placard in the windshield, which means it was proceeded to tow the vehicle. That gentleman walked up, started videotaping, things of that nature. The occupant of the vehicle ended up coming out of the nail salon or something that was in the area. He walked to her vehicle and showed that it was there. In the video, you hear the driver say, "Ma'am, it wasn't displayed." When you get your handicap plate, either blue or red is the temporary, blue is the more of the permanent one that goes above a year. Red is 6 months. On the first page, second column, bottom paragraph, it does state that you have to properly display the handicap placard in the windshield.
okay. So let me just ask the question. So once, once they realize she has one,
they release the
they release the
vehicle.
car. Okay, so let me just say this, bruh. So
Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish with this real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
Once she showed it, they dropped it. In the videos, the 2 videos you see, he showed the first encounter, and then as the vehicle was bending, the video stopped, and then he started another video and gave his own narrative of the situation that occurred.
Okay, well, hang on, because the brother who made those videos has joined us here in the studio, so he is with us. So, if I can, let me just first of all say good morning. Hey, Monty, how you doing this morning?
Good morning to you.
So this is getting a lot of traction, and thank God you heard about what was going on here at the station. So, what do you have to say in response to how you become somebody that starts watching what's going on with this towing company?
Well, the first incident that even got my attention is because I have a 5-year-old daughter, and her mother was recently looking for a house, and she had $2,000 in the car.
That's the story that's mentioned in the paper.
And the car was taken. I have the pictures. The car was taken. She wanted to get the money out the car to pay for the tow. It was an illegal tow because the car's over the line, I really don't think that justifies you coming on the lot and towing the car. However, if it's wrong, it's wrong. But you took $2,000 out of the vehicle and said that it wasn't in there. But you got the pictures of the money and the bands that the money was in the vehicle when she go pick up the vehicle.
Okay.
That's the first thing. So it gets my attention. So I sit in a lot. I watch these guys pull up to take a vehicle. I get out my vehicle. I start recording. I'm just recording, and he's asking me why I'm recording. I'm recording because you're taking a car off of a property, and then the property owner comes out and think I'm towing the car. I'm like, I don't have anything to do with that. I'm just recording.
Now, where was this at?
This was on 76 and Mill Road, and the property owner, I have the video. The property owner told him, take that down because this is my property. I didn't condone you coming here taking this vehicle.
That's what the property owner said.
It's on video. And then the Evolve security came and blocked the truck because they did it on their property.
And so, because that was one of the questions I had when I read the article is, so I'm assuming that the church owns their space, or are they leasing their space? Because I'm like, how do you take something from a parking lot connected to the church, or is it a communal parking lot?
Okay, so
Okay. Hold on. Can I answer at least
no,
one
no,
question
you
so
just
can
spoke.
see?
You just spoke.
I got it, Monty. I got it. Hang on one second, bro. Let me get this piece of the question answered. Go ahead, please.
And in reference to that, I go to the other lot and I see this woman's car being towed.
This is Evolve.
This is at the other lot on 76 and Capitol.
Okay.
And I recorded as well. There's a handicap space on the ground that's worn. There's not a placket that says don't park in the handicap space.
So it's hard. It's not visible. It's hard.
It's not visible. And I recently went to, not recently, but a couple of years ago, I was given a citation for parking in the handicap spot at Walmart. And I went to court, and Judge Valerie Hill dismissed the ticket because she said it wasn't properly marked.
Right.
Sign. People don't drive around looking for stickers on the ground and 18 feet above your head. I have that also.
But let me back up to Evolve for a second.
Okay.
So how the parking lot that's in front of Evolve Church?
Okay, so if it's a strip mall and all of these malls, all of these property, all of these people that owns business here, they're renting this property.
So somebody said Evolve paid over $4.5 million for that property, or something, like some crazy number. They believe that the lot belongs to Evolve. Do we know?
Well,
it doesn't sound like
it. What I'm gonna say is that this is a common area for that strip mall.
Okay, so it's
parking
likely
for people that's customers
of those businesses.
So if you're not a customer, I understand you just using a spot or you use it for overnight parking. I understand being told, but if I'm coming there to go to church, if I'm coming there to patronize the store, I'm a customer.
All right, hang on one second. I'm up against a break. And in fact, you know what? I can't. Because on Thursdays I end my show early. I end at 9:00. Both of you bros may not be aware of that, and then I get out a little bit early because we have Northwest Funeral Home that comes on. So I got to end the conversation here.
Okay.
But what I will do is I will be glad to pick it up. I do an afternoon show. I do a show on Friday afternoons as well to pick it up, because I think this is important because it's impacting our community. And there are a lot of people that are being put in positions and being charged $400 that are people who don't have the means and resources to pay this. And they don't understand what's happening when this is going on. And I'm saying this again as somebody who paid that money. And then also to be told I need cash because people are reversing the charges. So first of all, again, let me say to the brother from the towing company, I respect and I appreciate that you took the time to call in this morning to try to address those concerns. I'm sorry I didn't have enough time to flesh all of it out. Monty, I appreciate you coming through, bruh, to offer the different perspective. I'm willing to have the conversation or continue it again if you are both willing. Bruh,
Yes,
if you would. Okay, do me a favor.
Before we get off, I want to address the issue with the stolen cash, which did not happen. Each driver has body cams on.
Okay, I'm telling you right now. Hang on. So let me get your number. If you would stay on for a minute, Debo will get your phone number so I can reach out to you. Monty, I'll get your information, and then we'll pick this up. All right, family, I got to get out of here, but this is why I love radio. I appreciate in real time members of the community being able to participate and step up and try to bring clarity to some of these situations. Debo, thank you, bruh. Caller, hang on so we can get your info. Basquiat, don't cover up now. I'll talk to you later. What'd you say? Oh, Miss Jackie got him? Okay, so we got him taken care of. All right, family, I'll talk to y'all this afternoon. Peace.
At Skechers, we put the